Hey, OkieTools here. So I purchased this off-brand chainsaw off of Amazon, and I'm trying to figure out the chain specs on it so I can purchase a backup chain for it. And there's a lot of conflicting information there on the Amazon website about the different sizes that it might be. And normally you would get that information off the bar or out of the manual, but as you can see there, this bar doesn't say anything on it but professional, as you can see upside down there. And the manual is a very generic chainsaw manual that's not for this specific chainsaw, so it doesn't have any information in there regarding the specs. So I decided just to figure out myself, and to accomplish that I had to do a little bit of research. So I decided I'd make a video for you guys out there that may be in the same boat. Maybe you have a generic chainsaw like me that doesn't have anything on the bar and you'd like to figure it out. Or maybe you found a chain on the side of the road. In my line of work, I actually find quite a few chains on the side of the road. Utility workers or road crews that are using chainsaws will swap out their chains while they're working, and they'll just forget they're on the ground and leave them out there, and we end up finding them. And so you never really know what that chain goes to. So this will help you in figuring out what the size is on the particular chain and bar that you're interested in for your chainsaw, or for the one that you found. So the measurements that you're actually going to need for the specification of a chainsaw are the pitch, the gauge, and the number of drive links. And using those three numbers, you should be able to order you a replacement chain or figure out what kind of chain you have. Also, having the length of the bar is also good. So that's where we'll start. So if you do have the chain in the bar, and this isn't just a chain that you found out on the side of the road, you can go ahead and measure what your bar length is. So bar length is measured from where the bar actually emerges from the power head all the way out to the end here. And as you can see there, it's about 18 3/4 of an inch long. So you round up to the nearest even number. So this particular bar is a 20-inch bar because it's over 18 inches. Okay, so the next measurement you need is pitch. This is very important because this has to do with your drive sprocket and how it works. So you need to know the pitch of your chain for your chainsaw and bar. So you measure pitch from 1, 2, 3 rivets, from the center of those rivets, and that gives you your pitch, and that you divide that number in half. So as you can see here, this is about from the center of the first to the center of the third rivet is about 21/32. So what that comes out to is, in decimal form, is 0.656, and if you divide that in half, that's 0.328. And the closest pitch measurement for chainsaws for that measurement is 0.325. So this is a 0.325 pitch chain. Okay, now it's time to check the gauge of the bar. So I loosened the chain and got it off there so we can get to the gauge to check the groove right here. So one of the tips and tricks that I found when I was looking on some of the websites out there was to help us measure that is to use coins. So a quarter equals 0.063 gauge, a penny equals 0.058 gauge, and a dime equals 0.050 gauge. So these are the three pretty most common gauges you're going to come across. So we'll go ahead and measure. Throw the dime in there, and it's real loose, and yeah, it's a little too loose. It's not a 0.050 gauge. So we'll take the penny next, try to get it in there, and that seems to move pretty good, and it doesn't wobble too much. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be a 0.058 gauge. So we'll go ahead and try the quarter next, and the quarter will go in, but you got to kind of push it, and it doesn't move very freely. You'd want it to move a lot freer than that, just like the and not rub, just like the drivers do. So using this method with the coins, we found out that it is a 0.058 gauge bar. Now if you don't have the bar, and this is just one of those chains that you found out on the side of the road or in a pile of trash like me, then you can still measure it. You can just measure the drivers, the digital caliper, and that will give you the measurement of the driver, which will correspond to the gauge on the bar that chain is meant for. The last number you need is the number of drive links. So what I like to do is I like to make a mark right here and on the other side, and then I count all the links that are exposed, and then I move the chain up until I see those two marks fully exposed right here, and I count those as well. That's what I do if the chain's actually on the bar. If it's off, you can actually just count them individually, maybe mark one as your first one and then count all the way around. In this particular case, there are a total of 76 drive links. So using a tape measure, a small rule, and a few coins, I was able to actually determine the specifications for my unmarked chain. In my particular case, they were a 20-inch bar with 0.325 for the pitch, 0.058 for the gauge, and 76 total drive links. There you have the actual chainsaw and bar that this chain goes to, or whether you just found this chain on the side of the road. Hopefully having all this information and these tips and these tricks that I saw on different websites in one place will help you, just like it helped me, to figure out the specifications for your unmarked chain. Thanks for watching.